Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to What Women Don't Say, the podcast where we say the quiet parts out loud. I'm so glad you're here today, because what we're diving into, it touches practically a lot of women that I know, including me. Today we're talking about why talented women stay underpaid. Not lazy women, not unqualified women, talented, hardworking, brilliant women sitting in the same chairs as their male counterparts, doing the same work, sometimes doing more, and still taking home less. We're going to look at real stories, real patterns, and, most importantly, what you can do differently starting today. So let's get into it. Let me start with a question. When was the last time you asked for a raise? Not hinted at it, not hoped your manager would notice, actually asked, with a number, with confidence, with your chest. For a lot of women, that question brings up anxiety, guilt, even shame. And that's not an accident. That's conditioning. Studies consistently show that women are less likely than men to initiate salary negotiations. A famous study out of Carnegie Mellon found that men are 4 times more likely to negotiate their starting salary than women are. 4 times! And here's the heartbreaking part. When women don't negotiate that first offer, they can lose anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million in cumulative earnings over the course of a career. That's not a small thing. That's generational wealth. That's a home. That's a legacy. So why don't we ask? A lot of it comes down to what I call the silence trap. This deep, ingrained fear that if we speak up, we'll be seen as difficult, aggressive, too much, ungrateful. We've been taught by workplaces, by families, by culture, that a good woman is a grateful woman. That asking for more means you don't appreciate what you have. But here's what I want you to hear. Gratitude and ambition are not opposites. You can be thankful and know your worth. Let me tell you about a few women whose stories you might recognize, because I've heard versions of these again and again. Story 1. Maya. Maya is a marketing director at a mid-sized tech company. She's been there 8 years. She brought in 3 of the company's biggest clients. She trained half the team that now reports above her. Last year, a new male hire, less experienced, fresher degree, was brought in at a salary $22,000 higher than hers. When Maya found out, she didn't confront it. She felt embarrassed. She wondered if maybe she was worth less than she thought. She stayed quiet. She's still there, still underpaid, still doubting herself. Maya's story is about what happens when talent gets confused with invisibility. Story 2. Diane. Diane is a software engineer. Brilliant. MIT graduate. She once told me, "I didn't negotiate my first offer because I was just so grateful they picked me." She accepted $15,000 below market rate. And because salary increases are typically percentage-based, that gap compounded every year. 5 years later, she's still playing catch-up. Diane's story is about how gratitude, without self-advocacy, becomes a financial anchor. Story 3. Priya. Priya is a nurse practitioner. She works longer hours than any of her colleagues. She's the one patients ask for by name. She's the one the residents come to when they're confused. She asked for a raise last year. She was told, "We just don't have the budget right now." 2 months later, a male colleague in her unit got a promotion she'd been overlooked for. Twice. Priya's story is about how women are often told no without explanation, and how we're conditioned to accept that no as final. These aren't isolated incidents. These are patterns, and they live in every industry. In hospitals, boardrooms, classrooms, studios, nonprofits, and corner offices. Now, I want to be fair here. This isn't all in women's heads. There are systemic reasons this happens, and we need to name them. First, the likability penalty. Research by Harvard Business School has shown that when women negotiate assertively, they're often penalized socially in ways men simply aren't. People describe them as pushy or hard to work with. Men doing the same thing get called driven or confident. The same behavior. Completely different labels. That double standard is real, and it has a real cost. Second, opacity around pay. Many organizations actively discourage employees from discussing salaries with each other, and women, who are socialized to avoid conflict, often comply. This keeps us in the dark about our own value. Third, the prove it again bias. Studies show women often have to demonstrate their competence repeatedly before they're rewarded for it. Men are promoted on potential. Women are promoted on proof. And fourth, and this one is close to my heart, internalized undervaluing. Sometimes we are the ones who hold ourselves back. We say yes to extra work without asking for extra pay. We take on emotional labor, administrative tasks, mentoring roles, all the invisible work, and we don't put a price tag on it. We have been taught to earn our place quietly. And sisters, it's time to unlearn that. Okay, here's what you can do, starting now. 1. Know your number before any conversation. Research your market rate. Know the range. Know where you fall. And know what you're going to ask for before you walk into any negotiation. Don't go in hoping. Go in prepared. 2. Document your wins consistently. Start a brag file right now. Every project you led, every client you retained, every problem you solved, every time you saved the company money or time. Write it down. With numbers when you can. Increase team efficiency by 30% hits different than helped the team a lot. When it's time to negotiate, you won't be asking for a favor. You'll be presenting a case. 3. Practice out loud. Negotiating feels unnatural because we haven't practiced it. So practice. With a friend, a mentor, a mirror. Say your number out loud until it doesn't feel scary. Say, based on my contributions and market research, I'm looking for a salary of X. Say it until your voice doesn't shake. 4. Stop apologizing for wanting more. You don't need to soften your ask into invisibility. You don't need to say, I know this might be too much, but maybe if it's okay. No, you bring your whole, prepared, confident self into that room. Wanting fair pay is not greed, it is dignity. 5. Build your network before you need it. Know your value inside your organization and outside of it. Let people know you exist. Sometimes the fastest path to being paid your worth is a competing offer from someone who already sees it. 6. Talk to other women. Where it's legal and appropriate, and increasingly many places are making pay transparency protected, talk to your peers. You cannot advocate for equity you can't see. Before I let you go, I want to say something that I really need you to hear. You are not asking for too much. You never were. The woman who stays late, the woman who figures it out, the woman who holds the team together with both hands and never complains, deserves to be compensated. She deserves to be seen. She deserves more than a pat on the back. I know speaking up feels vulnerable, but I want you to think about the women coming behind you, your daughters, your nieces, the young women watching how you move through the world. What are you modeling for them? You were not created to shrink. You were not designed to be small. And the gifts and talents inside you were placed there on purpose. They have value. You have value. So the next time someone asks what you're looking for in a role, don't flinch. Tell them. The next time your review comes up, come prepared. And the next time you hear that little voice that says, maybe I'm asking for too much, I want you to remember this episode and ask anyway. Because you are worth it. Not someday, right now. That's it for today's episode of What Women Don't Say. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. It truly means everything. If this episode spoke to you, please take 2 seconds to like this video, drop a comment below telling me your story, and share this with a woman in your life who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to What Women Don't Say. You don't want to miss what's coming next. I'll see you next time. Until then, know your worth, speak it boldly, and don't you dare settle. Bye for now.